Kirtilamtu.
Yes, Dr. Rajpal also has come from South Africa. Patrice has joined from Ireland. Sridhar has joined from Chennai. Rai Kamal has joined from Ireland. Yes, Dinesh Naidu has joined from South Africa. Very good. Good afternoon, Dinesh.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram. Ella irukingla?
Ella irukka.
Our South African Tamils, they speak little, they can speak, they can understand, of course. Yes, it is now 4 o'clock. Where is Pratish?
Yes, Maharaj.
I'm shy.
Yes, namaste.
Prithvish, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I did not realize I am on mute, sir. Sorry. Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj, and for us it is Vijaya Dashami. Please accept our pranams, Maharaj. So we'll start. Jhuma, let us kick off.
Maharaj, shall we start?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So with pranams to revered Maharaj on this auspicious occasion of Vijaya Dashami and Dasera, extended Dasera may I add, and I welcome all the Tat Padam members to the 12th session of the dedicated disciples, and I will now request Malavika to start with the peace chant. Thank you, Malavika.
Om Shanno Mitra Shanno Bhavatar Shanna Indro Vrihaspatihi Shanno Vishnu Rurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tameva Prataksham Brahmasi Tvameva Prataksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Sattang Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
Thank you, Malavika. And Orpita Sen, can I request you to please mute yourself? I'm unable to mute you from my side, so there's a little bit of background disturbance. And thank you, Orpita. And can I now request Maharaj to please start the class?
Om Akhanda Mandala
Namaste, Maharaj.
Yaptam Yena Chara Charam Tat Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Very happy to see all of you again on this, the 12th session of the Tat Padam Satsang group. As you all know, we are having, at least with me, Tat Padam is having 2 classes in a month. One is on the second Sunday, which is today, 13th of October, and 4th Sunday. These are the 2 Sundays I come to meet our devotees here. And I feel very happy to meet every one of you, particularly for the special occasion being today. Today is Vijaya Dashami, as well as for the North India population, it is a holy Dasara. And of course, in the southern India, you say that is Saraswati Puja. So all the three things are wonderfully combined, and it's a wonderful occasion to come and to talk or to remember the God's name and his Leela, the sport. The sport of Leela, that is Bhagavan's Leela, is very difficult to understand by us, because we are all ordinary human beings and we are not so spiritually advanced souls. So what happens is, when we look at some of the Leelas of the Avatara Purushas, we find it very strange and we cannot come to a conclusion or an understanding whether it was right or wrong. So some of the actions of the Avatara Purushas are still questionable. You know, in some of the network, in the internet, some of the places in Facebook, etc., you find people criticizing the Avatara Purushas, unable to understand the inner core of the meaning of their activities. So the activities are kept somewhat secret. We do not know why it happens, what it happens, etc., unless the Avatara reveals it to us. Or as we progress in spiritual life, we also try to grasp the meaning, the inner meaning of this. The whole thing, the whole spiritual life is very difficult to understand internally, but easy to understand externally. For instance, today, one lady devotee from Bangalore asked me, so there are these demonic forces that are happening. You know, this Durga Puja is a fight between the divinity and the demonic forces. So you can see like that in Rama's avatar also, fight between the divinity and the demonic forces. Likewise in Mahabharata, Krishna's place also. How these forces are coming and attacking us. Then I told her, you see, it is not that something is happening outside. These demonic forces are from inside only. If you have one good thought, you will have 20 bad thoughts. That is the equation I make it. Why? Because if you get 5 good thoughts in your mind, you will have 100 bad thoughts. The 5 represents the Pancha Pandavas, 100 represents the Kauravas. So the battle happens. The very first shloka in the Bhagavad Gita starts with this question. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha mamakaha pandavasyaiva kim akurvata Sanjaya. Like that the question is asked by the Dhritarashtra. He says, hey Sanjay, oh Sanjay, what has happened? What happened there? Where? In Kurukshetra. What is Kurukshetra? He gives an adjective to Kurukshetra. He says it is Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. It is a Dharma Kshetra. So if you take it as an internal one, how do you interpret this? Swami Chidbhanaji very beautifully interprets this as that Kurukshetra is nothing but, first let us understand the word meaning. Kshetra means a place, a spot, a location. That is called Kshetra. So we say that Vishnu Kshetram, Sri Rangam is Vishnu Kshetram, like that we say. What does that mean? Vishnu Kshetram, like that Vishnu's place, like that Kailasa is Shiva Kshetram. So Kshetra means a place, and Kuru means do. In Sanskrit, Kuru means do it. So what is the place where anything is done? That is in this body. So the body is interpreted as a Kurukshetra. Why it is Dharma Kshetra? Is the body Dharma? Oh yes. As one of the proverbs says in Sanskrit, that this Sharirameva Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. This Dharma Sadhanam, if you want to use any type of dharmic activity, you require a Shariram. Without the Shariram, without the body, there is no karma. If the karma has to be effected, then the body is required. And the body is Dharma Sadhanam. It is a means to practice dharma. So this body within us, that 5 good thoughts and 100 bad thoughts are battling, and this Kurukshetra is continuing. That Kurukshetra is there near Haryana. If you go to Haryana, you can see the same Kurukshetra, and there you can see where the battle happened. That place also is there, and where Arjuna's Ratha, the chariot, was positioned, and from which place Sri Krishna gave this Gita Upadesh. That also you can see all these things. These are all external. Whether it happened or not is not our intention to discuss. What we mean is that thing is happening every day in our mind. So our mind is a Kurukshetra. The battle is happening every day. How difficult to overcome this unless we have to our aid the God's name. That is what Sri Ramakrishna has told one devotee. As you know, the dedicated disciples, we are talking about some of the disciples who were really disciples and who were not disciples but admirers and followers of Sri Ramakrishna. That is what we started with that. So today we are going to take up the life, only a few glimpses of the life of a person who met Sri Ramakrishna, who stayed with Sri Ramakrishna or met Sri Ramakrishna off and on within a span of 12 plus 10 months, that is 22 months. He never saw more than that. Even Vivekananda, Narendra and others saw for 5-6 years. This man, this devotee, saw only 1 year, 10 months. That was what? That is the opportunity he had with Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna spoke so highly of him. It's a very great thing. And that was his last birth. After that he has got no birth. Because he came and met these Ishtadevata in Sri Ramakrishna. Only 1 year, 10 months time was enough for him to reach his goal. What a wonderful life it was. And that man, that devotee, was very fond of horse riding. And Sri Ramakrishna says, hey, stop that horse riding. Nowadays a lot of carriages have come. Horse carriages are there. Why don't you travel by carriage? But he did not listen to him, Sri Ramakrishna. He said, no, I love this horse riding. I myself would like to sit on the horseback and then go for inspection. Because he was a deputy magistrate. He need to go for inspection many places. One distillery was there, where they make this local, the drinks. And that distillery has to be inspected. So he took a horse and went by the horse. Like that he used to go everywhere. So on that day, he met with an accident and he fell from the horse, and then he was admitted into a hospital, and then he died within 10 days. This Sri Ramakrishna foresaw when the first time he came to him, and that devotee's name was Aghar Sen. This Aghar Sen, he comes in the life of Ramakrishna for a brief period. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we read about Aghar Sen some about 4 or 5 times. Why? Because Sri Ma was there with Sri Ramakrishna. And Aghar Sen had the great privilege to meet Sri Ramakrishna at the last fag end of his life. And do you know how many years he lived? Only 30 years. 1855 he was born, and 1885 he died. Before Sri Ramakrishna's Mahasamadhi, this man passed away. This Aghar Sen was a young man, but it is said he was a precocious child. Precocious means he was an extraordinarily learning, that capacity was there. Grasping everything he learned. And it is said in Calcutta in those days, it was a very big prized award was issued, or scholarship was issued to the very brilliant students. And it was called Duff Scholarship. You may remember, some of the Calcuttans may know the Duff, Mr. Duff, who created a big scholarship and who created an education institution called Scottish Church institutions. And those who are acquainted with the life of Vivekananda and Subhash Chandra Bose, they knew that these two people were ex-students of Scottish College. So you know that they are the ex-students. There are many wonderful students have come out from that college. And Swamiji also read that, and Subhash Chandra Bose later, 1919, he joined that college. So you find that it was a wonderful college. Mr. Duff started that institution in Calcutta in order to spread English education and make our natives, as we are called, natives of the land, Bharatiyas, so we are to make us Christians. That was the original intention of that starting of that education institution. But though he had this intention to convert all of us, all the students, to Christianity, he was very fond of India. Staying in India, he became just like an Indian. He started loving India later days. In his elderly days, we find how much he loved India. When he went to UK once, he says in his letters that I am unable to stay in UK. I want to go back to my native country, he says. Though he was born British, but he felt India to be his own country. Anyway, that's a great thing that he loved India. But unlike Nivedita, Nivedita became our Indian in all respects, but he could not be. But he wanted to implement all the Western styles of living, Western styles of manners, all Western. Everything should be Western. So when he started the institution, Mr. Duff wanted an opening prayer, and it was supplied by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, as the history says. Now this scholarship was a very prized scholarship. Only extraordinary students get, and other was one of the students. Even Naren did not get this scholarship. See, this Duff scholarship was so precious, and this other son got it. That means you can understand how this young boy was such a wonderfully grasping power of whatever he learned. And he actually learned many subjects, though his subject was mainly administration, and he entered into literature field also. In Bengali itself, he wrote 6 or 7 books, and all those books are wonderful. One of the books, it is said, because he belonged to Brahma Samaj, because Raja Ram Mohan Roy was there, so he belonged to Raja Ram Mohan Roy's Adi Brahma Samaj, and he had certain ideas about the God, worshipping God with form, etc. And in that, he became a Nastika also. He didn't believe in the existence of God. That type of person growing up in one place and meeting at the age of 28, he comes and meets Sri Ramakrishna. And within 4 or 5 visits of Sri Ramakrishna to his home, this person is completely changed. What a wonderful transformation takes place, you see. That's why, and he says, what is the upay? When other son asked him in one of the conversations with Sri Ramakrishna says, holy company for you is the upay. Upay means means. What is the means for the God's realization? He says holy company. And from that day, other son took up that as a Veda mantra, and he practiced it in his life. Only 1 year, 10 months, I told you. That's what he lived. And after that, and that 1 year, 10 months, he had a wonderful association with the Avatar Purusha, Sri Ramakrishna. And that was happened. And when he died, after his death, Sri Ramakrishna commented. What he commented, you know? When he was on the horse, he had darshan of his Ishta Devata, and he lost control of the horse. So that's what the horse pushed him down, and then he died. He died because of the fall from the horse. Of course, he had fractures all over the body, and then he died. It is Sri Ramakrishna, immediately getting the news of his death, he sat for meditation, and he went into ecstasy. He went into samadhi. And in that samadhi, after coming back from samadhi, he says, Aghar, had Ishtadevata darshan on the horse, he says. That was possible for a man who was a Nastika. Just imagine how it could be. A person who is completely non-religious, non-spiritual, suddenly transformed. That's called transformation. That holy satsanga with a great Mahapurusha that made this person a great man. And even till today, we are speaking about this person just because he came to the grace of Sri Ramakrishna. Within the orbit of Sri Ramakrishna, he came. And that's why we are speaking about him. Because as in Tamil, there is a proverb, that means the thread that is tying the garland. A garland is a collection of flowers. So you bring all the flowers and tie with the garland. And the flower garland goes to the deity in the temple. And while the flowers get that wonderful opportunity to be on the neck of the deity, the thread which is nothing, which is useless, and that also gets the opportunity to be on the neck of the deity. What a wonderful thing, you see. So the Aghar Sen was like that. Aghar Sen came to be associated with Sri Ramakrishna for 1 year, 10 months. And still now we are praising him, we are talking about him. The glory of a person, because of his association with a holy people, that brings out, that stays on. Like a beautiful fragrance, it stays on and on. So, today is what a wonderful day. I said it's a Vijayadashmi day. And Aghar Sen, because he was a deputy magistrate and he was earning 300 rupees per month, a salary. In 1850s, you can understand 300 rupees must be a great amount, because he was considered as a great rich man of the place. And top people of the Calcutta, distinguished citizens, like that we call them, whenever any meeting, we say, if distinguished people have come. So these distinguished people used to come to Aghar Sen, because he was the deputy magistrate, DM, as they are called. Even now, in India, there are places which are ruled by central government, called union territories. There is no collector there. The post is called deputy magistrate, DM. So they are called DMs. So when I was in Arunachal Pradesh, I met several DMs and I had very good relation with them. The DMs used to come to our ashram and used to speak. And DM is, everybody would get up. There is awe and fear and respect for the DM. Wherever DM goes, and first his orderly would come out, and the orderly would have a particular type of uniform with a belt, etc., with a topi, and then he would come in front, and then the DM would walk behind him, and everybody would get up. So DM is a very big post in civil administration. So a DM, without DM's knowledge, nothing can be done in a particular civic locality. So he was in charge of that. So these DMs are there. In every state has got a DM now. A DM who is in charge, who is called collector. So that DM, the post, he had deputy magistrate, and he could give judgments also. Many of the cases that come to him, he could resolve by giving judgments. So he was a very busy man. In spite of the busyness, he wrote 6 or 7 books. And in one of the books, he wrote, what did he write? He wrote against this Bali Pratha, as we call it. That is the sacrifice. The animal sacrifice is one of the important items in the ancient religions. We find, if you read the history of religions, you can see many religions started with animal sacrifice to satiate or to satisfy the deity that they worship. So the animal sacrifice, even though it comes in many places, animal sacrifice are done. When I first went to South Africa, I also went to a Amman temple. Amman temple means the Divine Mother's temple, where on a particular day, this animal sacrifice is done. Of course, I have not seen a goat sacrifice, but I have seen many chicken sacrifices in South Africa. In goat sacrifice, I saw in Ranchi. I was there for 12 years in Ranchi. Then nearby there is a Kali temple, and in that temple they give goat sacrifice. On Sundays particularly, I used to go there not to see the sacrifice. I used to go there on some Sundays, and I would see a very big queue of people standing with their goats, holding the goats tied with that rope. They are holding the goats, and they are all standing there. All male goats, mind you. No female goat is sacrificed to Mother Kali. She wants only male goats. And these male goats are standing, and then they are taken one by one, they are taken to the Bali Peetam. And in the Bali Peetam, the fellow presses the goat on the neck portion. And the man is standing with a big kodari, like that, and a big instrument in his hand. And at one go, he must make it two parts. You cannot make it slowly. You cannot cut the neck. At one go, at one slam, that's all. And the munda falls in one place and the body falls in the other place. And then they cook it and then they offer to Mother Kali and they distribute to the devotees as prasad. Though I have never eaten that prasad, but I have seen that bali. It is once you see the bali, then I do not know what happens to me. I felt at that moment, felt a great joy that Mother is wanting a jiva to be cut into two by another jiva, and all these jivas are the same Mother. I felt like that. Divine Mother has become the man who cuts that goat. Divine Mother has become the goat. Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havir, Brahmana Hutam. You see, everything is Brahman, as the Gita says. Like that I felt. I had such a wonderful experience at that time. Of course, after that I never dared to go and see that bali, because I did not have any idea or feeling to go and see that. So, that bali is there. But the bali has been, because of the English education, slowly developing, the Indians started having doubts about the bali, the sacrifice. Once one gentleman in South Africa was arguing with me. Arguing means he was inquiring about this bali sacrifice, etc. So I was telling in favor of that. So he found that argument. See, the arguments means when you have to discuss, you have to say the favorable points and then non-favorable points. Both you have to say. So I am going to tell the non-favorable points a little later. But first I started with the favorable points. Then he questioned me. Oh, Swamiji, you are supporting sacrifice. You have not heard me fully. Wait. Listen to me fully. Then you can understand whether I am favoring it or not. That is, the conclusion is later. First you listen to me. So I was telling him. So I said, one of the important points why this animal sacrifice is to be justified is, you also please learn this, it's a very important point. See, Ramakrishna's one of the important teaching is, don't disturb the religious belief of a person. Don't disturb. Vivekananda says in his complete verse, you can see, he says, raise a man from the status where he is standing to the higher level. Don't demean what his present standing is. Suppose I worship a tree, I go around a tree and put flowers to that, tie the thread over that. Like that I am worshipping a tree. That, don't condemn that. Don't tell me that this worship, this method of worship is false. It doesn't go take you anywhere. Don't provide that type of discouragement to that. Rather, you raise him from that level to the higher level. From the tree, you make him worship birds, which are moving about. The tree doesn't move. It stays at one place. You raise him to the level of worshipping birds. You raise him to the level of worshipping then the seas, that is ocean. You raise him to the level of much higher and higher beings there. And then you bring him to the level of worshipping man, God in man. That is called evolution. If you don't do that and and start criticizing people at the lowest state of the spirituality, what happens? Where they will stand is the question. Suppose he is standing on the earth, a portion of the earth he is standing. Suppose you cut that portion, where that person will stand? He has got no place to stand. He will become a Christian or a Muslim. So you are encouraging him to become to another religion, run to another religion, because your religion does not support that. So you must stop that. Rather, be compassionate to him and try to make him understand that there are many people in South Africa who used to come to me, Maharaj, our father's father and father, they used to do this bali. But presently, I am not in favor of doing any sacrifice. What is the method I should come out of this? I said, very well. Swami Shiva Padananji has got a method how to come out of this type of bali. So if you don't want to do bali, well, very good. That means you are evolving. You have come to another status in your religious life. And how to come out of that, there is a particular method, and I would tell them. And then they would follow that, and from the next year onwards, no bali in their family. You see how the evolution happens. This type of evolution is a progressive evolution, not fighting with you or talking badly about you and putting you down. No, that is not proper. So this bali, at that time when Aghar was reading about English education, naturally started doubting about the local customs. In Bengal, it's a place of Bengal, whether East Bengal or West Bengal, you see, this is a place of Divine Mother worship. Wherever Divine Mother worship is there, this sacrifice portion is part of that only. You can see in many places, even in Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Karnataka, you go there, where Kali is worshipped, where the bali is done. So now many places it has stopped also. Many temples, they have stopped giving this bali because they are evolving now. Slowly they are coming out of that. So it should come in a natural way. That is what my point was. So Aghar had this, and very first meeting with Sri Ramakrishna, he asked, what does he ask? A very interesting conversation which was recorded by Master. Master means Master Moshai, that is Mr. M. Mahendranath Gupta has written in his Gospel. It is on Friday, 9th March 1883. I'm just reading that simple paragraph. Aghar to the Master. Sir, I have a question to ask. Before that, M says, the Master enjoyed a nap after his noon meal. Aghar and other devotees gradually gathered around him. This was Aghar's first visit. He was a deputy magistrate and about 30 years old. Exactly not 30, he was 28 at that time. Anyway, Aghar to the Master. Sir, I have a question to ask. Is it good to sacrifice animals before the deity? It certainly involves killing. So he says, when killing is done, how do you offer it to deity? That was his question. Master says, what is the answer of Sri Ramakrishna? You see, the Shastra, that is scripture, prescribes sacrifice on special occasions. I am now in such a state of mind that I cannot watch sacrifice. Sri Ramakrishna insists. He says first, Shastras have got regulated. Shastras say on some special occasions, not every day. Special occasions, the sacrifice can be done. But I am now in such a state, I cannot watch a sacrifice. Again, in a certain state of mind, I see God in all beings, even in an ant. At that time, if I see a living being die, I find consolation in the thought that it is the death of the body. The soul is beyond life and death. So this is how Sri Ramakrishna looks at the bali. So as I explained to you just now, so this is a question why it came upon him is because, as I told you, he wrote many books, and one of the books was Kusum Kanan. In Bengali, he wrote several books. and they are all published at that time itself in book form. He was not even 25-year-old boy. Just imagine, that's why it's called precocious child. Within 25 years, he published 6-7 books, and all these books are, and 2 books in Bengali poems also. You know, this text is easy to be written, but to write poems in Bengali is very difficult. And he wrote those, and the names I'm telling very interesting, all ladies' names. One is Lalita Sundari, and another is Menaka, 2 poems. And then he wrote stories, and they were all published. And name is, one is Nalini, and another is Kusum Khan. So these are the names he used to give. And then one Governor General of India was there in Bengal, and his name was Lytton, Lord Lytton, Lytton, Lord Lytton. And that Lytton, about him also he wrote, and he called it Lyttoniana. That's what he gave the name. So that's a wonderful man he is. And in that youth, he received so much of praise from the literary circles, and many top people of the society used to make friendship with his deputy magistrate. That is Aghar. They would come and meet him. Like that, many people used to meet him. And then first he heard from this Brahma Samaj only, he heard about Sri Ramakrishna. And his mind was, though he did not believe in God, is God there? Then why people go to this Paramahamsa in Dakshineswar? Such questions came up. Let me also one day go. So first time he has come, and he put this question to him. And such a man, such a great writer, there, he wrote there in the Lalita Sundari, in that book, he wrote about very bad things about idol worship, and that is the worship of God in the form, and also the animal sacrifice. Both the things he criticized in that book. So that is how he wrote. After that only he came to Sri Ramakrishna and met. So how Sri Ramakrishna made him more closer to his Ishtadevata. What was Ishtadevata? Ishtadevata we do not know. Nowhere it is mentioned in the books. But he had great admiration for his Ishtadevata. And Sri Ramakrishna made him feel more closer to that Ishtadevata. You see, that is one of the opportunity that you go to a great sadhu. When you meet a sadhu, the sadhu should not disturb your faith. Whatever faith you have in your mind, let that faith be there. But that faith should not be disturbed. Rather, from that faith, the sadhu should try to make you evolve, make you see a better picture from what you have now. So that is how the God's devotions are taking place. So the sadhu seva has got a great benefit. One of the benefit is this, that will make you raise from a level where you are to see some other truth, extraordinary truth, and then raise to that level. So how many devotees say that, Swamiji, before Diksha, we were this state of mind, but after Diksha, our status of mind different. We improved in our spiritual life, they say. Why? Because that has made it possible. That's how the holy company is very necessary. So, but even then, though he was satisfied with Ramakrishna's teachings to him and touching to him, that started when he started believing in Sri Ramakrishna. His coming and discussion, etc. Okay, but that doesn't say anything about his belief. One day he called Sri Ramakrishna to his home and invited a few people. And there the songs, bhajans, and Sri Ramakrishna's words were there. So everything went on very nicely, and he arranged very good food for all the devotees. So devotees had good food because he was a rich man, you see. 300 rupees monthly salary. So no problem at all for feeding people. So he fed all the devotees so nicely. And that person, one day, Sri Ramakrishna separately called him and asked him to open his mouth, drew his tongue, and he wrote something. So his nephew, who is called Bipin Bihari Sen, who was also a great man later, This Bipin Bihari Sen has written some reminiscence about his uncle, about Aghar Sen. So there he says, Sri Ram, we were all small children at the time. We didn't understand much of what Sri Ramakrishna was speaking to my uncle. But we saw that Sri Ramakrishna pulled his tongue and wrote something on his tongue, he says. So you can see that from that time onwards, his faith in Sri Ramakrishna grew leaps and bounds. Nobody could stop that. Such a wonderful faith he had in Sri Ramakrishna after that. And also, once on Mahima Charan Chakravarti, you know that name. Those who read gospel, they would have come across with Mahima Charan. Sri Ramakrishna was very fond of this man also. But this man had great egoism due to his study. He was very well studied of Shastras. So Mahima Charan used to come to Sri Ramakrishna, and Yam also makes some interesting observation about Mahima Charan in some places. So this Mahima Charan once came to Aghar Sen's house, and one Tantric also was there. All the three are discussing about some point in Tantra. In Tantra literature, there are many books are there. So some mantras are not able to understand. So they are discussing. But all the three had three opinions about the interpretation of that mantra. Now they could not come to an understanding. So all the three decided, let us go to Paramahamsa in Dakshineswar, who has done Tantric Sadhana. All the 63 Tantric Sadhanas he has done. So let us go to him. So they all went there. And then when they entered his room in Dakshineswar, Sri Ramakrishna already was seated in the small cot, and some devotees were there, and he was talking to them. When these three people went inside and they sat there, they could not talk to Sri Ramakrishna. They simply sat because Sri Ramakrishna was flowing. The thoughts were coming out. So naturally they kept there and listened to him what he was telling. And to their utter surprise, he was exactly narrating the same Tantric mantra, and the explanation of that he was giving. So Aghar Sen was stunned. I have come to ask him a particular point, but when I meet him, he is telling that very same point now, explaining to me. What a wonderful, how does he know what is happening in my mind? So he was stunned. From that day onwards, he became absolutely surrendered to Sri Ramakrishna. And he had only 1 year, 10 months to go. Understand that. In the end of his period, and he came to Sri Ramakrishna. And it is one of the important aspects or activities of the Avatara Purusha. What they do is, when they come, they meet many people. They keep with themselves so many years. Like simply you imagine how many people were there with Sri Ramakrishna in the Dakshineswar. How many they could understand? His own nephew could not understand Sri Ramakrishna well, and then he has to leave him at the last phase and then go away. So that's such type of people we see. But one of the important aspects of Avatara Purusha is to unite the Jivatma with Paramatma. So Aghar had great devotion to his Ishta, and he made him joining with him. This is something we are seeing, and it is one of the important aspects for short life only. And he speaks whenever he is to come. Suddenly, one day he took one of his friends to Sri Ramakrishna, and that friend was very, very sad because he was, his name was Sharada Charan. He was filled with grief because his eldest son, he passed away. Now, eldest son passing away is a big thing, It's no father can stand that. And this father also was like that, out of consolation. So he thought, let me take him to Sri Ramakrishna and let Sri Ramakrishna console him. And on that day they had gone there, and then Sri Ramakrishna was in Samadhi at that time, sitting in his room, but he was in Samadhi. They waited for him to come down from Samadhi. After his coming down, immediately Sri Ramakrishna began to sing, as if to himself. What was that song, That song was about death. This is another important point. And he says, to arms, O man, death storms your house in battle array. What can you do? Be ready for death. Death has entered the house. You must fight him with the weapon of God's holy name. And he says, God alone is the doer. One doesn't come to grief through letting a good man assume one's responsibilities. Let his will be done. That's what he said to them. And that was a warning or a caution to others. But others never understood that at that time. He knows that the death is going to come to others. And Sri Ramakrishna somehow knew, and the other could not get. Neither he told him that you are going to die. You don't say like that. So what he said, he told that death is in your house. It has come to your house, he says. And that man was also consoled by these words of Sri Ramakrishna. He says, one of the important teachings to others by Sri Ramakrishna, that also is written in the Gospel. I am reading that paragraph. You are a deputy magistrate. He is showing his status in the society. Deputy magistrate. Remember that you have obtained your position through the grace of God. You may not believe in God, but by the grace of God only, you have attained this wonderful high post in British government. Otherwise, do you think British government will give him such a young boy of 24 years, making him as a deputy magistrate? Of course, nowadays our students are also, Indian students are very good in IAS and IPS. In 22, 23 years, they come out very well and they become deputy magistrate. Once one senior Swami of 80-year-old was telling another Swami of 65-year-old, what is this? You don't do it properly, this work like that. He was just haranguing it. So the 65-year-old Swami was bowingly and with all great veneration to the senior Swami was listening to him. And then he murmured something that senior Swami could not hear. Hey, what did you say? Come, tell me near, come tell me. Then he went near him. Maharaj, 24 years. These nowadays boys are running a big state. If you go to Tamil Nadu, then all the districts are run by these 24-year-old boys as collectors. And I am 65. You should have some sympathy with me. Like that he told him. And that old Swami was simply, he kept quiet. Oh, okay. Like that he left. So you see, that young age, and the Britishers made him deputy magistrate means because of his accomplishments. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, never feel that you have obtained your position by yourself. No. This ego has to be nipped in the bud. How many people reading this gospel can nip it in the bud within ourselves? We may have great situations in life. You may be a great professor, you may be a great doctor, you may be a great whatnot, scientist, etc. But do you think that this position has come to me only by the grace of God? Or do you think that these things, this prestige in the society has come to you because of your own exertion? If you had thought like that in the latter way, you are mistaken. It is by the grace of God that once I used to go to a doctor and I used to talk to him. He was very loving to me. He used to invite me to his home and we have a small sitting there and then reading from the gospel and then we'll have a very good supper. His wife was very great in doing very good supper and she would very lovingly prepare it for me. And I told the doctor, some patients come and tell me that you have cured them. Immediately he put his hands together and told me, Maharaj, it's not me. It was because Master gave me that power to cure. I am curing. It is Master. The credit should go to Master. You see, that is a wonderful way that you accept that. Whatever position you have, it is because of the grace of God. Do not forget Him. But remember that all men must one day walk down the same path. We stay in the world only a couple of days. How beautifully he cautions him. Hey, Aghar, Don't think that you are going to live for 80 years. A couple of days only we stay in this house. That means the death is in the house now. It is coming now. The world is our field of activity. Karma kshetre, kurukshetre, I told you. Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre. That kurukshetra is this. The world is activity, field of activity. We are born here to perform certain duties. People have their homes in the country, but come to Calcutta to work. In those days, from villages, people used to come from the countryside. And then you come and work in Calcutta and go back to your country, home. Go back, country home. There was one beautiful song long back, an American song, Country Home. I do not know how many of you have heard that. I used to hear this song very much. I used to love this song also. It's a very beautiful song. So when I went to that state, at that time I felt, this song I remember now. To that very state I have come to now. So you find that, so country home people have houses. They come to Calcutta, work and then go back. So they say, so it is necessary. This is a kind of discipline, he says. But one must finish it speedily. We have to finish our duties very speedily. Because time when it is going to come, we do not know. And we must remember that we must think of God, His holy name all the time. That is what He gives Upadesha to other. And other kept up that Upadesha. I only touched a few instances from his life and to explain as a form of a discussion. We shall now proceed. Yes, Pritish, you can start the discussion now.
Yes, Pranam Maharaj. Devotees, any questions?
I see. Have they sent the questions by message?
No, I think message there is a wish only.
Okay.
Okay, there's. Maharaj, so I am assuming that this 22 months, that this short attachment of 22 months that came to an end because of his accident only.
Yes, that is what we see that in the history, that he fell down from the horse and he had multiple fractures and he died of that. Yes.
Okay. And is there any I had read somewhere that then Narendra was also very young. So Narendra was also he was, I don't know, there was a friend of Aghar, but they used to attend Thakur together.
Yes, they used to come to Dakshineswar. Narendra was 8 years younger to Aghar.
Okay, much younger.
Yes, Narendra was, when he finished his college, by that time Aghar was an established deputy magistrate. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, in a society, he was a big man at that time. So, when he used to come with his people to Dakshineswar and get down from the carriage, and then people used to throng about him. Oh, the DM has come. So, DM Sahib has come, like that. People used to talk. Yes. At that time, Narendra was only a young boy.
Okay. Maharaj, another question. So, we read in the Gospel sometimes when Thakur jokes about the magistrate sitting over there and dozing off. So is this the same guy?
Yeah.
Yes. No, that one of the important, very interesting thing that you touched the point. This point, dozing off is whenever, for 40, how many days it was? For about 40 days, Aghar used to finish his office work. And straight away he would come to Dakshineswar, and then on the ground he would fall asleep and then sleep there till Ramakrishna wakes him up.
Yeah.
So he used to sleep there.
Yeah.
And how much sleep he had at that time. And people used to say, what is the point? He come for a holy company and he is sleeping in your room. And then sometimes 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, the gates have to be closed. They know Dakshineswar gates have to be closed. So Ramakrishna would wake him up, hey, go now, go back to your home. And then late, he would go back. And he would sleep. So, and that sleep, he had a wonderful peace of mind. That sleep was like a sunidra, as we call. it is called a sushupti. In sleeping also there are three minds, three types of sleeps are there. So nidra, and then sopna avastha, and then sushupti. Three types are there. So the sushupti is without any modification of the mental vrittis. That sleep comes. And that's in Hindi mein bolte hai na, ghoda bech kar soya, nik kar sona. So you sell a horse, which is very difficult to sell, and then you sell it, and then you had such a peace of mind, and then you sleep. So that type he used to sleep, yes. Many days he used to sleep like that in the Dakshineshwar. And I think Sri Ramakrishna must have marked this naturally. And then he would, wherever he could bring any example, Sri Ramakrishna was master in that, in bringing anybody also. He never feared anybody, you see. Yes.
I think Jhuma and Malavika has questions.
Maharaj, going back to the first question of Aghar Sen about the sacrifice.
It is Aghar.
Oh, Aghar. Okay, Aghar Sen about the sacrifice.
In English, DHAR, that.
Yeah, Aghar Sen. So Master Thakur replied that the answer which he gave was that because it's in the scriptures, occasionally it can be done. And he also said that in this present state of mind, did he say I'm not able to, what did he say? I'm not able to see or what, like sacrifices or something. So I couldn't understand that. What state of mind, if you could elaborate on that. Master said, no, in this state of mind, I am not able to agree with.
In his state of mind, he is unable to see the performing animal sacrifice.
Yes.
Okay, now you understand that there is a state of mind where animal sacrifice is completely abhorrable, completely to be avoided.
Right.
There is a state of mind.
Yes. So,
but at the same time, you must accept there is a state of mind where animal sacrifice is necessary.
Yes, okay. That is the conclusion.
So a state of minds may differ.
Yes.
From a lower portion truth, from lower truth to higher truth, as Swamiji says. We never travel from false truth to higher truth.
Right.
We travel from lower truth to higher truth. So that is a state of mind. Suppose you understand the most abject poverty. People are living in a village where they can only dream of having a little fresh food. This fresh food is not available to them every day. Only once in a year they will get, and only when the Amman temple Utsava comes, when the celebration comes, it is cut and it is distributed to all of them, and they are very happy. You go to villages, still now, even after 78 years after independence, our villages are still in very bad condition.
I've seen that.
You know, because you are already working in the villages in Purulia district, so you know how abject poverty is there everywhere. So with the poverty-stricken people, if they get one piece of flesh and get happiness on that day, what is the wrong in that?
Okay, so that is the lower state, that where people are, and the higher state is where you abhor that, you do not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for clearing this. I was also very confused as to why Mata.
Let us not look down upon those who eat flesh.
No, yeah. Yes, of course.
Yes. That is it. That is the point.
All right. Thank you. Malavika.
Swamiji, regarding this, you said that this is the evolution of how the spiritual understanding happens, and not to disturb local culture. But for juniors who are maybe just getting married to different families, and if they are not used to seeing this custom, and it's a shock to them, so for them, what is the advice? Because for them it might be very, very difficult to see or accept this as tradition practice to the families being now practiced, something like that.
Yes, like that. Yeah, what you say is true. But my question would be to that person who have this cultural shock, as we call it. I must ask this question to him. When you see a girl or the girl sees a boy and they go into wedlock, as they call it, they are going to lock it. At that time, before that, what you are doing, were you not getting introduced to yourself? A boy and girl meets, they have to understand each other, not only each other personality, a single individual personality, what you like, what you don't like, etc., but also which family you belong to and what is the tradition of the family. That you have never inquired. Suddenly after marriage only you come to know, oh, the animal sacrifice is done in this family, and you get a shock and you go for a divorce. What is the meaning in that? So, before coming into wedlock, two persons have to know each other individually as well as family-wise, as well as the society-wise, where they come from. You see, there are so many types of things are there in the society, and jati, kula, man, etc., 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 we say. So all those things have to be understood, and then only you can get some type of compromising ideas. If that is not there, it will be very difficult. Suddenly you come to know, in South Africa, this difference between Hindi-speaking people and Tamil-speaking people are there. They are there, but they are coming down slowly, because the people getting educated, and then they understand each other. They try to understand each other's family background, and then only then it doesn't become a cultural shock. One couple came to me. It was already on the verge of divorce, and I don't like this divorce. I tell my congregation everywhere, the divorce is not sanctioned by our shastras. Once you get married means finished. For this birth, this has to go together. You cannot divide yourself like that. It's only in paper. The court can give you that you both are apart, but no. Till death make us apart. We are together. That is the thing that we have to take it. So that is what we believe in. So I used to tell them. So the problem of where it came, the problem is the boy's family, every day his mother used to burn the lamp in the worship room. The girl is from such a family, she doesn't believe in this, and neither they do in their home. So when she was brought into the family, the mother-in-law told this girl, you light the lamp every day instead of me. I was doing all these days, now you take up this work. She refused. No, in my family, we don't never do that. So I will not light the lamp. See, lighting the lamp became a big question, and it became such a problem, and they are ready to go for the divorce for that. Then I pacified them, made them understand, said no, and they are very nicely living with family, with their children now. Even now they are in contact with me. I am very happy for them because they could understand each other's viewpoint and then come to compromise. You see, that's so. Why it should be a cultural shock? That is what my question. So that is, okay, take it for granted, as you say, it is a cultural shock. Then also what to do? What to do is, either you have to come to an understanding with that person with whom you are going to live. Whether you may not like that particular practice, but he has got liking, so his state of mind is different from your state of mind. So what we have to understand here is, though he has become my wife, she has become my wife, it doesn't mean that she and me are both in the same state of mind. That's why we pray that Sangachatvam Samvadatvam Samvo Manansi, let us be together. Let us come to the same level of understanding. So a husband and wife must have the same level of state of mind so that the understanding becomes clear. So that has to come only by practice.
You're on mute, Malubika.
Sorry, I had another question. You mentioned that when Thakur was there, so many people came to Dakshineshwar who had happened to see Thakur, but not many people, like those were, like the fortunate ones were relatively few. Then in this Thakur song, there is this Bikkhane Mohojai, like if you happen to see the Lord, this delusion will go. And then from Thakur's side, that he is Samadarshi, so he does give grace to everybody. So will you please help to align this, that those who saw him and just were not attracted in spite of seeing Avatar Purusha. So is it ultimately the first step on the Purusha car and then only the grace will happen, or it has to be a simultaneous strike to be the lucky? How does this happen? It feels like no hope.
It's a good question, of course. I'm smiling because of the complication that you brought into three aspects in one question. That's why I'm just wondering what is this question is. So, yes, you see, as we understand, today what we understand, the main thing is different people are in different states of mind, number one. And number two, one must appreciate in whatever state of mind another person is. Number three, don't disturb the state of mind, rather try to make him evolve to a next stage if you know. These are the 3 points we have learned today. So, according to these 3 points, keeping in background, let us discuss this point. In Ramakrishna was there in Dakshineswar, the boatman has seen him. You know, some people ask me straight away some question at the first meeting itself. So, one family came today from Benares, they came. And the lady was simply stunned to see the solitude of this Yelagiri ashram. She said, oh, what a wonderful, this type of silence I have not experienced, Swamiji. Everywhere I'm hearing sound, and here absolute silence. She was so happy. And then she straight away fielded a question to me, which is, without any understanding of the background or anything, and she doesn't know me, who I am, etc. Simply she fielded. She said, how did you become a monk? Now, you see, that is a question that cannot be answered in one sentence. So it requires some background has to be told. So I thought, and now they are going to getting ready, and the husband is telling, let us go. And at that moment, you have to give an answer. So I said, you see, in Dakshineswar, Sri Ramakrishna was there. You know the story, isn't it? Yes, I know. He was a Kali Bhakta, she said. Yes. And then there were a lot of flies around. And one of the flies touched his body. And that was the fly I was there in my previous birth. But because I touched his body, I have become monk this day. So she smiled, she understood I was making fun, and then she left. But it could be true also. See, it could be true also. What I feel is, I am not worthy of coming to this as this state of mind. But by His great grace, His grace knows no bound. So that because of the grace, I have reached some state, you can say. So this type of telling is to reduce your ego, you can say that. But literally speaking, Sri Ramakrishna was an avatar Purusha. Everyone who saw him, who came to him, must have attained their goal. Yes, I would say that whoever has come to him, even those who worked against Sri Ramakrishna, who spoke ill of Sri Ramakrishna, who hated Sri Ramakrishna, even those people, they went into a higher state of mind afterwards. This is what I want. What are these?
Yes.
I would not bring it immediately, God realization or Atman realization, all those things I won't say. Whatever be the state of mind, they were there. They have gone to a higher state of mind. Otherwise, you think the man who came and beat Sri Ramakrishna, later he says that, oh, what a mistake I have done. Why he should feel that? So his state of mind changes or not? So that's what has happened.
Even the story of Narada that you said that we Moloyer Hawate giye the Kumbhakarna's yeah, that time he had
So many people must have definitely gained something.
এইখানে মানে karma is will come into play on behalf of the person who is not getting attracted to the higher power. That is his karma that he is not getting this thing. But the avatar's infinite grace that he is bestowing on everyone, that he is Samadarshi, right?
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Any other person?
Any other questions?
I did notice somebody raising hand, but maybe not.
মহারাজের 4 ঘন্টাও পড়ে গেছে শোনা গেল।
হ্যাঁ, exactly. They were not 1, 2 or 3 ঘন্টা. So Maharaj had 1.5 ঘন্টা তো more than 1 hour, of course. So you have.
No, if there is nothing to discuss, we can definitely close. Yes.
Okay, Maharaj.
Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Durga to everyone.
Pranam Maharaj.